Hello, welcome to News Central Television. I am Benga Aboroa, and these are the top stories at this hour. Lagos lawmakers pass vote of confidence in new Speaker Mojisola Meranda following invasion of the Assembly by men of the State Service. Federal government calls for humane process as United States is set to deport 85 Nigerians. Burundi grapples with refugee influx as M23 rebels offensive intensifies in DR Congo. We'll bring you the details shortly.
Of any members of the Lagos State House of Assembly, because the House has been desecrated and armed to come to the chamber with weapons.
The controversy surrounding the security deployment has only strengthened the lawmakers' resolve. They insist that a choice of speaker must stand and that no external pressure will deter them from upholding democratic principles.
On behalf of the entire members that are seated here today, 36 of us that are seated here today, that we have elected you as our speaker and that we have removed the former speaker as our speaker. Madam Speaker, we are calling on our father. He's a father of 40 members that he has raised over time, 40 members that he has nurtured to be who we are today, 40 members that we served him and he believed in us. Madam Speaker, we are calling on our president to help us.
That is the law. This is an act, a federal act, protecting this chamber from what happened today. So I want to join my colleagues in calling on the DSS to address the invasion of this parliament.
With political tension still high, lawmakers have passed a vote of confidence in Mojisola Meranda, sending a strong message that the legislative arm of government will not be undermined. In Lagos, reporting for News Central, I am Chidinma Ona.
Former Nigerian Vice President Atiku Abubakar has strongly condemned the invasion of the Lagos State House of Assembly by security operatives on Monday, calling the incident utterly reprehensible. In a statement on his X handle, Atiku demanded a full and thorough investigation into the incident, expressing concern that the operatives were reportedly acting under a mandate to enforce a leadership change within the Assembly. The 2023 PDP presidential candidate criticized the involvement of security forces in parliamentary disputes, calling it a disgraceful attack on democracy and an affront to the Nigerian electorate, particularly the people of Lagos State. Now, for more on this, I'm joined by Chris Kayode Wandu, CKN for short. Chris is a publisher and a political analyst. A warm welcome to you, Chris, and thanks for joining us on the news.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, Chris, let's start by asking, let me start by asking you for your general perspective on what transpired at the Lagos State House of Assembly yesterday.
Well, what transpired is quite unfortunate, but it's not unexpected if you've been following what has been happening in the past few weeks since the removal of the former speaker, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, and the gladiator seems to be digging in as it were, and the center seems not to be holding, just as the Shina Chebese in its book, Things Fall Apart. But it goes to show a big crack in the wall of the political family, the current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's so obvious that, for whatever reason, I would say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's movement from Lagos to Abuja seems to have left a huge hole in his political family in Lagos. And what we are seeing now is a clear out of that. But don't forget that prior to that, people have forgotten so easily that in 2023, through the 2020 presidential election, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu lost the election in Lagos, the presidential election. The president lost to the candidate of the Labour Party in the person of Peter Obi. It was just the next election, the governorship, that the APC won. So, is this a sign that the president is losing a hold of his political base? Then is left to be seen. But what really happened yesterday was a crescendo to a large extent as to what the APC and the gladiators in Lagos State are doing. And it seems that nobody's in charge, because if the president is in charge, still in charge of Lagos politics as it were, we expect that this problem would have been nipped in the bud. We have all sorts of rumors flying around from depending on which side of the divide you belong to. But the fact is that I believe that the Lagos State Assembly members should be allowed to determine their leadership and how they want to govern, how they want to run up their affairs. Any interference from any external factor, as far as I'm concerned, is a breach of the Constitution and their rights as members of that state of assembly.
Now, CKN, there's a school of thought that suggests that, maybe the presidency is pulling its weight to secure Obasa's seat. What do you make of this? These are mere speculations at the moment.
In journalism, we don't speculate. So I would rather not speculate. I will base my fact on empirical facts.
Now let's talk about the presence of armed men from the DSS in the assembly yesterday. A lot of people have condemned it. Former Vice President Atiku, they've called it an aberration and, all sorts of words. Now, the DSS, through a letter, said they were invited because there was anticipation of a breakdown of law and order. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, for me, the action of the DSS, from what I'm learning, is like crying more than they believe. Yes, the leadership of the House said that they got wind of the fact that the former Speaker, Obasa, is going to storm the assembly ground yesterday with some of his supporters, and they felt that there's need for the place to be well secure. And the clerk was asked to write the DSS, inviting them. First and foremost, I even want to ask, why the DSS? The agency that has the primary responsibility of securing properties and properties of issues like this is the police. Why did the leadership of the House write the Commissioner of Police asking for police? Why the DSS? It is not the job of the DSS to be securing or to be intervening on issues like this, political issues. This is supposed to be a secret agent. These are not supposed to be seen. That is the mandate of this DSS. So for me, inviting them the first time was an aberration. But let us even consider that they were invited just as we learned that on arriving at the place, the DSS went beyond its mandate. Instead of securing the place and making sure that they went ahead to first and foremost lock up the office of the Speaker, lock up the office of the Deputy Speaker, even the office of the court clerk that invited them, they locked it up and tried to prevent even members from members of the assembly from entering the chamber. That was not part of the mandate. So I see a kind of interest here, and that is why we say that there must be some forces far above what we are seeing that are behind it. Then added to that is that, don't forget, about 2 weeks ago or thereabout, the current Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly was invited by the DSS to their office in Magodo, and he was detained for whatever questioning. It took the entries of members of this same assembly to go there and make sure that now, as far as I'm concerned, the DSS is becoming a party in this dispute, and that shouldn't be. The DSS absolutely has nothing to do with it. It is an internal mechanism, it's an internal issue of the House, and they should be allowed to resolve their business. And I said what again, it is not the duty of the DSS to provide security for, it is the police. That is why we have the police. As far as the internal security is concerned, it is the primary responsibility of the Nigerian police, and they expect that the Commissioner of Police would have been the person to have deployed his men to the assembly yesterday. If for any reason we are expecting anything, so the DSS, to me, is becoming a party to this, and they should be told to hands off this matter. It is not within their privilege.
Okay.
It is not within their mandate.
Now, CKN, the Lagos State House of Assembly has suspended plenary indefinitely. A lot of Lagosians, their constituents, are worried about the state of governance, that this people are distracted with their leadership tussle. What are the implications of this on governance in Lagos State? And do you think that we've seen the worst of this, the worst of the crisis? Have we gone past the worst phase of it?
No, we have not seen the worst part of it. We are asking they have adjourned Sendai or indefinitely as it is here. The effect, as you asked, is that governance in Lagos is going to be scuttled because the members of the assembly, the executive cannot work without members of the state assembly. These have to be passed, motions have to be passed, laws have to be passed, and so many other things. There will be executive bills, there will be personal bills, and a whole lot of. This is supposed to be an arm of government, one of the third arm of government that pull the leadership within the state. So if the State House of Assembly is not functioning, that in itself is going to affect the government, the running of the government. And my own take here is that, what is the position of the Lagos State governor in all this? Because definitely I know that the legislative arm is a separate arm from the executive. But the fact is that whatever this house is doing or whatever is happening in this house is going to affect his performance as a governor. So this is why we are saying that those in charge, those that have the power, those that are behind it, should be able to think about the generality of Lagosians, including you and I that live there, who need purposive leadership, who need to enjoy the benefits of dividends of democracy, and be able to nip this in the bud before it's like, for goodness sake, 36 members of the House pledged allegiance to the Speaker. What else is more than that? It's only about 3 of them that are against her. So the majority will have the minority will have their say, but the majority will have their say. So if there's nobody in the, just as we say in local parlance, if you see a small distance dancing by the bush side, the person playing the drum is somewhere inside the bush. The president, as the leader of the party, as I said, need to come out on this and take a stand. The leaders of the GAC should be able to come out and take a stand so that this issue is resolved once and for all. For goodness sake, must somebody be a speaker? It's the same people that elected you that said they don't want to. And as far as I'm concerned, you may be asking how it happened, whether it went through the normal channel.
He's gone to court to challenge that. We're out of time, Chris Kade-Nwandu. Thank you so much for your valuable insights on this subject. We do appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Chris Kade-Nwandu, publisher and political affairs analyst. Now, moving on to other political matters. The Osun State Caucus of Lawmakers in the National Assembly has condemned the alleged attempt by sacked local government council officials to reclaim office despite a standing Court of Appeal ruling in Akure against their reinstatement. Speaking on behalf of 11 other lawmakers, Bamdele Salam, a member of the House of Representatives, expressed concern over what he described as a breakdown of law and order in the state. He reaffirmed the Parliament's commitment to upholding democratic principles. Salam also accused security personnel in the state of aiding the act and called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to intervene before they urged the All Progressive Congress in Osun State to abide by the rule of law.
The people of Osun State woke up to the criminal takeover of the local government secretariat by these sacked officials who forcefully broke into the premises of the councils in several local governments, aided by thugs and hooligans who have been shooting sporadically, wreaking havoc on the people of the state, thereby constituting a very great nuisance and danger to the peaceful people of Osun State. Sadly, this is being perpetrated with the support of some security personnel relying on a non-existing judgment of the Court of Appeal. We hereby call on His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Commander-in-Chief, who is the father of the nation, His Excellency President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and of course to all well-meaning persons, organizations, and groups, civil society, the media, and the international community, to call to order security personnel who are aiding and abetting this violation of the ground norm of Nigeria.
Former Senate President and Chairman, Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Adolphus Wabara, says no one can remove him from the party. He made this vow during the 80th birthday celebration of former Secretary to the Abia State Government, Emir Okoro, at the International Conference Center in Umuahia, Abia State, before a large gathering of PDP members and Governor Alex Otti. He says he will continue to commend the governor for his developmental strides, irrespective of party affiliations. Recall that the State Executive Committee recently announced the suspension of Wabara from the party over alleged comments that Governor Oti's second tenure was assured.
Man can see what is happening in Abia. And I'm saying this again now. Maybe they should now see this. I was suspended. They should now expel me. But having said so, sir, continue with the good works our ancestors in Abia are with you. Because I believe in this party. No ragamuffin, no urchin can push me out of this party. I will try my level best to bring in people into my party.
You're watching News Now on News Central Television. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, Kano State government begins profiling of support agencies. We'll bring you details of this and more after the break. Well, that moves to the southeastern region of the country. Contrary to having no business activities on Mondays due to the seat-at-home crisis in the entire southeast region, residents of Owerri, the Imo state capital, seem to have picked up their pieces and resumed normal lifestyle. While there are seemingly skeletal movements and activities last Monday morning, there are certainly those who are yet to change their condition. News Central's Chinwe Ogele, currently in Olu, brings us details of her experience. Our correspondent Chinwe Ogele joins us live from Olu in Imo State for an update on the developments in the southeastern part of the country. Good morning, Chinwe. Good to have you join us on the news.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, can you bring us up to speed with developments in the region, and what's the latest with the sit-at-home order? Was it enforced in Owerri yesterday? What do we know?
Okay, the situation in the southeast, and of course, especially Imo State, is such that the situation is beginning to calm, and people are beginning to, go about their daily activities without so much fear. There's still that fear, but it's not as it was in the beginning when this whole sit-at-home order began. So as of yesterday, so many people came out to do their businesses in Owerri, but this morning in Olu, one of the troubled areas in the state, and where insecurity is set to be on the high. I have here with me an indigene of this community in Olu local government area. So I have here with me Mr. Ebere, who would tell us exactly how the situation has been in the south in this community for some time now. So good morning. Right, More, I'll hold it. Good morning. So why are you here?
My name is Ebere Agupwe.
So go to security in the southeast Nana Buduno and Denmark on the
Formally, it was bad, but this time around, the situation is almost calm. Every day by day, we still reduce it. So we are not in hurry or that much. Right before, we almost ride every blessed day, but this time around, for more than 4 months or thereabouts, there's nothing like that. Everything, the situation is calm.
Okay, so yesterday that you had that there was a Monday sit at home, did people go out or were they inside their homes?
Not much people. Or it was like before, you will not even see a fly along the road. But that, like yesterday, some people, even though there were some places opening their market.
Okay, so what you're saying is that the security situation
is coming down. Yes.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay. So there you heard from him about the situation in the zone. So Even those I interviewed off camera somewhere while we were on our way to this place also confirmed that the situation is coming down. It's just that sometimes you hear gunshots and you don't know where it's actually coming from. So, but I've also confirmed that sometimes the gunshots are from the security operatives who are trying to maintain security, law and order in the area.
Thank you, Chinwe Ogelu, for the updates. We do appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And let's move on to judicial matters, where we learned that the legal landscape in Nigeria has continued to evolve due to disruption of digitalization. This was the submission of legal practitioners at the Law Week by the Nigerian Bar Association Surulere chapter. Stakeholders urged legal practitioners to uphold the ethics of the profession even as they remain digitally inclined. News Central's Omolola Ololade has more in this report.
The Nigerian judiciary plays a crucial role in upholding the principles of democracy, ensuring the rule of law and safeguarding citizens' rights. It is on this premise that the Nigerian Bar Association Surulere branch at its maiden Law Week emphasizes the role of lawyers in safeguarding democratic values in a changing world.
You cannot have a democracy and then you're sharing the space with terrorists, bandits, and unknown gunmen or kidnappers. So we need to enlighten the society and then for them to understand where we stand.
The digital era is also coming to bring certain mechanism in play to ensure there is access to justice and there is speedy dispensation of justice. Because like they say, justice delayed may be justice denied.
The event, which brought together legal professionals, academics, policymakers and stakeholders, focuses on the integration of digital technology into legal processes while increasing accessibility to justice.
Legal digitech refers to the integration of digital technology into the legal profession, enhancing how services are delivered, managed, and assessed. It involves the use of artificial intelligence, the use of automation, the use of cloud computing, the use of blockchain technology, and other digital tools to streamline legal processes, to improve efficiency, and increase accessibility to justice.
While the emergence of digital technology may have transformed the way the legal profession is practiced, legal practitioners, however, emphasizes upholding the ethics of the profession as law remains a highly regulated profession.
Lawyers must embrace technology. There are a lot of changes in technological advancements and that aid legal practice. But in whatever we do, we must not forget the time-honored tradition that drives the legal profession, on which the legal profession is based. We must not, because of the craze to go viral on social media, desecrate our profession, imbibe practices that do not do honor and justice to our profession.
It has opened so many things about AI as regards law, which so many people are overlooking, and which we have to advert our minds to in the practice of the legal profession. What is happening today, AI is the in thing, and if we are not careful, definitely it's taking over all our jobs. So we have to be proactive in the way and manner we do our legal practice.
As lawyers embrace this transformation and adapt, key players believe there is need to maintain ethical standards to thrive in the evolving legal landscape. In Lagos for News Central, I am Omolola Ololade.
Now let's get to security matters. The Kano state government has set up a committee to profile local and international humanitarian and development organizations operating in the state to monitor their activities. The secretary of the state government says the move has become necessary in order to ensure the affected organizations don't tamper with the values, peace and security of the state. News Central's Emmanuel Bagudu has details.
Kano State, located in Nigeria's northwestern region, has had its own fair share of terrorism-related activities in the past, with many in the state still worried that this has not been totally eradicated. At this ceremony holding in the state capital, it seems the government is not taking things for granted, going by the terms expected of the newly inaugurated committees. The secretary to the state government and other officials present hope that out of the two committees being inaugurated, one will focus on profiling and monitoring of non-governmental organizations and donor agencies, while the other on protecting the rights of consumers.
This committee is not in any way intended to withhold anybody, either as a local organization or as a donor organization, but rather just to be on the same page and for us to be in the best picture of knowing every organization that is operating in the state with a view to create more understanding, as well also to create more information about what they are doing, the source of funding, the kind of activities they are doing, where they are located, what they are doing. That is all.
Among other things, profile the NGOs and other civil society organizations that are operating in Kano State, so that the government and the people know who they are, what they are doing, what is their source of funding, and to determine whether there are any negative implication arising from their activities.
The SSG sheds light on the Committee on Consumer Protection, which he says it's coming at a very auspicious time.
It helps government to establish this committee so that the right of the consumer can be protected. He will be protected from adulteration. He will be protected from what we call in Hausa tayo mudu. You know what that means? That a 20 mudu rice is displayed, but when you go home you find 15, and that is despicable.
Both committees have been mandated to punish offenders found wanting and operating outside the ambit of the law. In Kano for News Central, Emmanuel Bagudu.
Farmers in Plateau State have called on government at all levels to wade into the alarming increase in price of farm inputs to enable them, make profits after the farming activities. The farmers expressed their displeasure at the drastic reduction in the price of tomatoes in the market. News Central's Chizoba Anyonwe in Jos did a market survey regarding the crash in the prices of vegetables and now reports.
This is Feringada Market, located in Jos North local government area of Plateau State, where farmers and buyers come in from different states of the country to buy vegetables of different types. Tomato is one of the products traded here. A few months ago, tomatoes sold as high as between 30 to 80,000 naira per basket, but currently the price is between 3 to 6,000 naira. An official of the tomato market gave reasons behind this development.
The availability of the tomato, most of it, 80% to 70%, we know the farmers normally produce at a low quality. It will not be advisable for the interstate market. But those that are in low quality, we normally use it at the domestic use water, at home. That is making the price to go down. So those that engage themselves in international or interstate market, that price is still maintained at 6,000.
The consumers couldn't be bothered about the reason for the drop in tomato prices. They are simply happy with the development.
Before we used to buy 6,000, 7,000. Now today market, I bought it 35, and I'm happy.
We thank God for the new price. Now you can see this one. It's now 500 instead of 1,000, 2,000.
Very soon now it will be high. So we are all happy since everybody can eat it.
As the saying goes, one man's meat is another man's poison. So while consumers are pleased with this decline in price, these farmers aren't happy with the development.
The tomatoes now is down. Farmers, we are losing. We are not getting anything because fertilizer, the mixing chemical and fuel to own the gene is not easy with us. Honestly, we are finding it very difficult. Please, we are praying that we are praying and asking government to come and help us, please.
I am not happy for the price of the tomatoes now, because last year the tomatoes they cost too much, but this year the tomatoes they plenty because of if you find motor to put to go east, so it's too high. Money for the motor is too high.
Now with these new prices of the various varieties of tomatoes in the market, it is expected that government at all levels
come to the aid of these farmers to make these farm inputs more available for them at reduced cost too. In Plateau, for News Central, Chizoba and Yowe.
Now, the Israeli government has assured of its commitment to building the capacity of medical practitioners in Nigeria's health sector. This was during a symposium in the nation's capital, Abuja, where Israeli surgeons performed several pancreatic surgeries on citizens with the aim of building the capacity of their Nigerian counterparts. News Central's Ahmadine Uyi tells us more.
The pancreas is the gland in the abdomen that produces enzymes for digestion and hormones that regulate blood sugar. It is located behind the stomach and when usually affected by a disease, needs very complex surgical procedures which cannot be done in the country because of a lack of capacity. In a bid to reverse this trend, the Israeli government is partnering with Nigeria to build local capacity of health practitioners to perform surgical procedures related to pancreatic ailments.
What's our vision? What's our dream? Our dream is that Nigeria becomes a centre of excellence. Our dream is that people come on medical tourism to Nigeria, not from Nigeria.
But we want to create a hub as a capacity-based, a resource centre where all others in Nigeria will come and learn from it. And so it's not only limited to people that will have access in FCT, but beyond FCT.
Several Israeli doctors arrived for this symposium and also performed some complex surgeries on the pancreas of affected citizens to teach their counterparts in Nigeria on the way it is being done.
And one of the areas we identified was the hepato-pancreatic area. And so it's been a real privilege for us to be able to bring two leading surgeons from Israel to come here for a number of days. They carried out 4 very complex surgeries, and all the patients are healthy and came through the surgery. But they also worked with Nigerian doctors to help train them to build capacity in Nigeria.
The pancreatic problem, whether it becomes a tumor, it becomes a cancer, it's always very difficult to detect it. So early detection is very important. And unfortunately, we don't detect that so early because of limited capacities. And even when we detect the intervention, when it aids in surgery, it's also very limited. One, because of issues of capacities within our healthcare providers. Secondly, also issues of affordability is a very important expensive surgical interventions.
The Israeli ambassador to Nigeria says that he is positive that this collaboration will present a win-win situation for both countries.
And we hope this will be the beginning of a long-term relationship, a long-term partnership, where we can help Nigeria build capacity.
With this knowledge transfer, it is hoped that ailments affecting the pancreas, which usually needs surgical procedures outside the country, will now be treated in Nigerian hospitals. In Abuja for News Central, I am Ahmadine Uyi.
Nigeria signed a sea lift agreement with the African Union. This, according to Nigeria's Minister of Defense, is a commitment to come to the aid of the continental body whenever called upon, especially in the deployment of the African Union standby force. The minister, while speaking in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, says that this is proof of the nation's capacity and reliability whenever called upon.
Pledge to support the EU was sea lift. That is moving soldiers, equipments, and others by sea when needed. This is in support of the African Standby Force operationalization. And this is indeed a very big step. And it really shows the strength of Nigeria and our capability to support Africa.
You're watching news now on News Central Television. Coming up on the news, Burundi grapples with refugee influx. Amidst the escalating DRC crisis, we bring you this and more after this break. Do stay with us. You're welcome back. Now, thousands of refugees have crowded a camp in Bubanza, Burundi, near the border with the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, fleeing the advance of M23 fighters backed by Rwandan troops. Burundi's Interior Ministry reported on Monday that nearly 10,000 people had crossed into the country in the past 3 days as Rwanda-backed forces intensify the offensive in eastern DRC. Officials say refugees are entering Burundi through the Gutumba border post or crossing the Rusizi River. The government, in collaboration with the United Nations Refugees Agency, is working to identify civilians, soldiers, and the sick, while also providing shelter and humanitarian aid. M23 armed groups have seized large swathes of territory in recent weeks, displacing hundreds of thousands, and over the weekend entered Bukavu, the capital of South Kivu province.
Hapa tuko watu tofauti tofauti. Kama mimi nimetokea Uvira, kuna waliotokea Bukavu, kuna wengine wanatokea Maplene. Watu ni tofauti tofauti gisi tuko hapa. Muda wa kukusanya vitu hapana. Hapana, kukua kukusanya kabisa, ilikuwa tu naogoa kama vile mimi nilikuja hivi tu. Yaani na mwingine utakutana naye amekuja kivyake, lakini mimi sikuja na kitu. Baada ya kusikia hali ya masasi ambayo sikuelewa kama ni namna gani, nimebahatika kutoka na watoto wawili tu. Mke wangu sijui uko wapi, nimekuja tu na watoto wawili. Tunachokiomba kwa serikali yetu ni kututafutia amani, kama kisi wanatutafutia amani siku zote, wangetutafutia amani, kwa sababu watu waliopo hapa kwanza ni wengi na tunaweza tukafa na maradhi sana. Kwa hiyo wangetutafutia amani, kwa sababu vita vyenyewe vinaleta mauaji ya kutosha, na labda
Libyans are celebrating the 14th anniversary of the revolution that toppled longtime leader Muammar Gaddafi. Fireworks illuminated in the sky over Tripoli as citizens gathered to mark the ovation. The anniversary commemorates the event of February 17, 2011, when protests against Colonel Gaddafi's regime escalated into a full-blown revolution. Citizens waved flags and celebrated in the streets, reflecting on the country's journey since the uprising. You're watching News Now on News Central Television. We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, Russia's foreign minister accuses West of prolonging Ukraine war. Bring you details of this and more. President Louis Abinader has announced plans to extend the border wall with Haiti by an additional 10 to 12 kilometers, increasing the total length to 176 kilometers. This move aims to curb irregular migration and smuggling between the two nations. The border wall project, which began in February 2023, includes a 3.9-meter high concrete wall topped with metal mesh fiber optics, movement sensors, cameras, radar, and drones. The wall is being built in Dominican Republic territory, allowing soldiers to patrol on both sides. The extension is part of the government's efforts to secure the border and reduce illegal activities. However, the project has been met with some controversy, with some arguing it will do little to reduce illegal migration and may lead to increased tensions between the two nations.
Lo primero es que debido al éxito de los primeros 34 kilómetros, me parece, de Dajabón, al éxito de cómo se ha comportado ese muro, que ha disminuido en un 80% en esa área, los robos tanto de ganado como de motores, de vehículos, pues nos están pidiendo que extiendan el muro. Eso va a un proceso de licitación. Y lo que hemos hablado es que pueden ser una extensión de 10 a 12 kilómetros, que es lo que nos permite el presupuesto plurianual, tanto de una parte en este año y la próxima parte para el año.
The Nigerian Basketball Federation has announced its final 12-man roster for the third window of the FIBA AfroBasket qualifier set to take place in Tripoli, Libya from 21st to 23rd of February 2025. The squad, featuring a mix of experienced players and emerging talents, includes Captain Ike Wamu, Caleb Agada, and Christian Mekowulu. The team will begin preparations with their first practice session on 18th of February after arriving in Libya. Nigeria aims to secure a strong position in the qualifiers, showcasing skill and resilience on the road to AfroBasket 2025. The Nigerian Basketball Federation has pledged full support and urged fans to rally behind the team as they take on this crucial challenge in Tripoli. And that's all on the news at this hour. Before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Lagos lawmakers passed vote of confidence in new Speaker Mojisola Meranda following the invasion of the Assembly by men of the state service. The federal government calls for humane process as United States set to deport 85 Nigerians. And we also told you that Burundi is now grappling with refugee influx amidst the M23 offensive. Remember, you can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, StarTimes channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Benga Aporowa.